Okay, now we're live.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another live session. In the last session, we talked more about Zapier and its integration, how it's useful, and how it's like evolved over the years. And as you mentioned last week, that we would be covering n8n, which is in a lot of ways similar to Zapier. We will be discussing how well it is as compared to Zapier, what are like the key differences and how you can use it to automate your flows, your tasks and stuff. So I have with me Phil, who is like my partner, and we enjoy a lot when we talk in this session. And Phil is like on a vacation, so he is having a very good time. And July is the time when you have when the weather is great, you can go and have some fun. So I would
Oh yeah.
really like you, Phil, to talk. Start with how your vacation is going and how what kind of fun are you having.
Oh, I'm having great. Like, let me show you guys off. So I'm not in my normal setup today. You see, I'm using my road. So I'm on the road, right? But let me show you the view. Now, this hotel, it's not like anything super amazing, but it's right between two. It's on like a little peninsula. So on one side of the building and the other side, we have two different seaside views. And this right here is
Mhm.
kind of like the bay side. And unfortunately, you can't see much right now because the sun is kind of
Mhm.
just at that impossible point. But
Mhm.
if we're still in the call when it starts to set, I'll show that off because it's beautiful here. So
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
yeah, lovely spot, lovely spot. I just want to show you that to everybody so that you understand why my camera is a little wobbly and my not in the normal situation. So excited to talk about N8N today and kind of get into the differences. Maybe dive a little bit into it, why we prefer it over Zapier, and just share our experience with it in kind of a fun call. So if there's any kind of questions and guys are interested in discussing it more, jump into the chat.
Yeah. So related to Anadan, it is becoming very popular. I think what has made it so popular, and we see a lot of people using it, and also making content about how you can use it to automate and create different automation for flows where you can integrate between different applications and do useful stuff is because uh, one, it is like open source, so anyone can just do stuff using it, create some new flows and stuff and list it out there. And also I think it has more flexibility in terms of you can simply add like a lot of stuff to it and make it useful to your needs.
Yeah, and it has a little bit of different pricing model also.
Mm-hmm.
They look at the whole processes versus steps. So Zapier is really step based. If you have a complex iteration, it'll use you a lot of zaps or whatever they call it. While N8N looks at the like a whole completion process. So if you have a worked out a good, clean, complex flow, same as any other flow,
Mm-hmm.
which
And
I think
also,
encourages you to do more
yeah.
complex and fun
Yeah, you
projects
can
too.
do a lot of complex stuff because it is no doubt very developer friendly, and you can even self host it, and that actually gives you a lot of it gives you like a lot of options and flexibility.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so let's dive in. Let's have some fun with it. What's tell us from your perspective, what's like the kind of most fun projects you see people using it for nowadays?
Mhm. So
Workflows.
what I have
I guess they
seen
call it a workflow.
Mhm. On n8n, what I have seen a lot is basically people are creating automated workflows related to social media posts where they integrate different AI models like they use ChatGPT to generate images, or even I see people integrating it with like Perplexity used to generate stuff. Then you can integrate Google Sheets and stuff to it, and it can be used to automate all of the process. And I also see people even making chatbots using it, voice agents using it, because you can use Anit and to in as a place where you can place all your stuff and applications, and they integrate with each other. And you can even add like 11 labs. You can integrate it to it for like natural voices and stuff. Then you can, for like natural language processing, you can use chat gpt for those responses and stuff. So, and one cool project that we are working on right now is basically using n8n to create a voice agent, like an AI agent for like dental niche, where we are creating like an AI receptionist. And we created it custom. One issue that we were facing was the latency. So by using n8n, what we have achieved is like the latency is much better, and it allows you to actually connect things seamlessly, and you have better results.
Yeah, yeah. It's so where's one of the things that's special about it is kind of its AI enhancements versus some of the others. Can you share a little bit about that?
Sorry.
One of the things that makes it a bit kind of special compared to Zapier in some ways is its AI workflows.
Yeah, and people have created like a lot of AI stuff using it, and as I was referring, people are creating some advanced like chatbots, voice agents using it. Also, we went through Zapier is also at adding something similar. We did went through like the chatbots that are like in the beta phase but available in Zapier last week, where you can create different chatbots, you can add different knowledge bases and stuff to make that chatbot more useful. And also those, if you remember, we went through like the AI agents, where those agents can be created to do like different tasks, and it can be used to perform different automations. So in n8n as well, you have that flexibility where you can manage like complex backend flows and like APIs and stuff, and you can do that to create like a lot of AI agents. Though, as you mentioned, those AI agents can automate like a lot of your tasks, which could be even as simple tasks as making a social media post and posting it to your socials and updating the sheet where you are keeping track of everything, to even like some complex AI agents where you have like a complete voice AI agent, and that takes the calls, gives responses, and then also perform some actions where uh, the agent is booking calls and adding that data into calendars and stuff. So you can link that with Outlook, Google calendars in n8n. And once let's assume I am like a dentist clinic owner, and I am using n8n to create like an AI receptionist for me. So that receptionist can take calls for me. It can answer queries that my patients have. It can uh, tell them about my procedures which I do. I also talk about different prices and stuff. Can, if given access to different databases, can look into their past history of procedures that they have done, and can do follow-ups. Also, if it has access to my database and also to my calendar, can check for spots which are available, which they can book with me, and schedule those appointments for them.
Yep. Yeah. The so there's some kind of like key differences when you're comparing Zapier to n8n, and I think some of them are a little bit more obvious than not. But I feel like for enterprises and businesses, it might be better to use n8n because of the the self hosting solution, and that
Yeah.
it's an open source project. So it's an MIT license, so you can take and do with it whatever you feel like, right? And Zapier, it's that closed model. It has essentially one cloud to where it stores all the data, and if if your kind of corporate charter doesn't allow you to have offsite cloud storage, then n8n is going to be one of the obvious solutions. The That ability to self-host it is kind of a double-edged sword. You can go for it, you can have fun with it, but you can also use their cloud. So I think there's not a lot of risk in
Mhm.
trying it early on. And even I think I'm not 100% sure if they're still doing this, but I think they give like 1,000 free workflows initially to test
Mhm.
out. Do they still do that?
Yeah, and as you mentioned about the advantage for organizations to actually self-host it in comparison to Zapier, so that makes it very much powerful in a way that for Zapier I have certain limits, like certain automation tasks that I can do in a certain plan. But if I self-host it, the more I can scale my own infrastructure, the more automations, the more things I can, I can have even unlimited task and automation if I have like the right infrastructure.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of comes down to um, how much are you going to use it, because hardware is not
Mm.
easy to maintain. So
Yeah.
that's it's a big reason we all love the cloud. It's all set
Mhm.
up, it's plug and play. You just have to learn the system. uh, but I do love that, if you grow into the system and you're finding that the cost, there could be cost savings there, which I think you'd have to do quite a bit of workflows before it
Mhm.
really starts to make sense. But if you're using it for, maybe if you're using it for chatbots and stuff like that, then yeah, it might really make sense to self-host it, or
Mhm.
to put it on an Azure cloud, so that you could control it in multiple regions and have a little bit more control over that. So I
Yes.
guess it depends
Yeah.
on quite a few factors, mostly business dependent.
Mhm. Yeah, one thing that comes into my mind, and as you were mentioning, that hardware is not very much easy to maintain. So, if we compare, let's assume if I'm using a cloud service like Zapier, towards if I'm using a service like n8n, which is self-hosted, uh, when I'm building like a voice agent in which latency and the time really matters for those responses, and then to generate that response and then deliver that response to the user. So, what do you think that is like a cloud-based solution more powerful, or like if you have something self-hosted like then it would be like a better option?
So for me, I want to have this as a cloud based, because I have the email access, but I also have logging that I want to make sure I have. So
Mhm.
there should be multiple layers on the system. So I should be getting the little zaps, right, the little workflows going, and I want to later on be able to compare that log that it's doing. So one of my steps is logging the interaction and putting timestamps and the times and the kind of like the correlation, so I can look back and evaluate how well my workflows are going and making sure that they're on track. So I'm looking for dropped workflows, and I'm looking for um, efficiency. I'm looking to make sure it's achieving my KPIs and that I'm able to track that. So that tracking is a big deal for me. So I'm going to probably want to do something easy, like put it into Google Sheets also. So I'm going to make a little JavaScript, and this kind of brings us to the next question of interactions. Uh,
Mhm.
yes, I could use this locally, but it's so convenient to have it on a remote cloud for me, that it just seems like it's natural to have these little interactions going off on the cloud rather than having that local hardware. In real effects, I don't think it really makes a difference which way you choose, but the to me, I just like to have that cloud solution because I feel like I have my finger on it more, no matter where in the world I am. And
Mhm.
as you know, I like to travel.
Yes, and one thing, especially in dental industry and also in this medical industry, compliance is like a big thing. So
Yep.
if and cloud options do have like all the compliance you need, but do you think that like a self-hosted system we can use? Obviously, in n8n, this is like an additional option where you can self-host.
Mhm.
So if your data is not leaving your server, so I think it gives you like it makes you more compliant. So do you think that
Yeah, it's a
it
good
it
question.
is?
I'm not sure if it actually makes you more compliant.
Mhm.
When you're looking at compliance, what you're looking at is the systems that you have to make sure that you can audit it, that you can catch violations. So
Yeah.
if your local system makes it easier for you to do that, then
Mhm.
great. But not a lot of people have that full system set up where they have all their databases, they have all their servers, they have all those internal systems that are working inside their system. And for like a local dentist company, and if they're using like a local app, then that's going to be harder for them because they don't have the built-in APIs most likely to control their data. Now, the more control they have over their systems, like if they built, or if they're on a larger system or they built a system that has API access or
Mhm.
MCP access, then it's a totally different thing. But I haven't seen a lot of dentist agencies go and have that like that proper system that they can go in there and track. And even comes down to the question is, does your system allow you to know who accessed things, so when they accessed it? Do you have this log going back so you can catch violations or issues? And do you have the training set up so that people are compliant within the team, depending on how the systems are set up? Now, if you're dealing with military projects, then it's almost certain that you're going to have that in-house physical structure set up, and maybe even a separate room, and certain data can't be touched anywhere. So this gets to be kind of more interesting when it's like government related. But for HIPAA and compliance on like 27001, right, standards, ISO standards, I find that it doesn't so much matter, but if you're using the proper cloud systems and if you have good physical control of your hardware, then you find it quite easy. The problem, there comes in problems with who can access what, but when you're going through it and you've set up your like your physical locks on your computer, if it loses connection to the internet, or uh, what you know what there's some apps that help you manage that hardware and that information. It becomes more important if it's hardware that can leave the office also. So if you're putting all your information on laptops, for example,
Yeah.
then you have a far greater security problem than you do if you're
True.
using just a well-developed cloud.
Yeah. Yeah. If my server is like more, it's not like very much. I don't have like the right security stuff, so it's better to use like a cloud which has. Um, because when you offer these services, then you also have to pass like a lot of tests and stuff. You have to be compliant to all the rules and regulations. So that's, and one thing that when I was actually comparing n8n and Zapier is uh, in Zapier, I believe that if you are aware that it polls every like 15 minutes in the free plan, and if you are like on a paid plan, it's like it comes down to like 5 minutes. But this is like when we these are similar in like a lot of ways, but n8n can do if you configure those web hooks and stuff and triggers instantly, then you can actually update like real time data and stuff. So you can have less lag if you want. If you have some admin dashboards that you want to be updated in like real time.
Yeah, yeah. The which kind of brings me back to kind of if you're self-hosting it, what cloud systems you're going to use. Um, Azure is pretty well known for it for their like just prepared kind of easy plug and play solutions, while AWS isn't quite so commonly known for it. A lot of the security professionals, if they see that you're using Azure systems, Microsoft systems, then they're going to be more confident in it right away. So there's little tricks like that that you want to kind of ease your life if you're doing these, because you have these annual and biannual requirements for maintaining those certifications.
Yeah, and I think if, as you mentioned, Azure, Microsoft also has something called Power Automate, uh, which can help you do like a lot of automations. And we will once we move into like the demo mode, we will I will actually show you, and when we will be like showing this online, uh, it's dash or it's like you can say it's pretty much similar to like Power Automate. And the UI and stuff is also similar, like in a lot of ways. So you can use it as you have like a lot of in Power Automate as well. You have like a lot of templates and pre-built stuff that you can use, not only within the Microsoft environment, but also you can integrate with different applications outside to perform and automate these tasks.
Yeah. So, and while you're teasing us about that, maybe it's a good time to jump into that, show some stuff off.
Yeah, sure thing. What I will do is basically switch to screen sharing, and what you can do is just answer like a bunch of questions in the meanwhile, while I can share my screen and show some different templates and workflows that you can use, and also like a quick overview how n8n looks and how you can use it to not only use like templates that are available out there, but also some flows that you can create. If you have if you want to build something custom, something specific to your requirements, how you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. We kind of while you do, go ahead, and I'll kind of cover a few things that are kind of fun. So the when you're dealing with HIPAA and stuff, since we dived into that a little bit, uh, you're looking at getting a BAA, what they call BA, and that's a business association associate agreement, and it's a legally binding contract where that's required when you're doing like health insurance or uh, anytime you're like working with that unscrubbed data that people are have inside their medical records. And what you want to do, in my humble opinion, is have a separation in your database so that you're able to separate the HIPAA information that's trackable to identifiable to a person, name, social security number, any of that stuff that is going to be able to take data and track it back to a user, and to separate that into into your own system, but then aggregate the other data into a system that you're using for automations. That way, you're protecting people's privacies and their personal rights, which is a big deal, especially in Europe, right? So where the governments and European governments aren't so friendly to businesses in some cases. So to avoid yourself getting in trouble, just separate out that stuff if you want to use these automations, and have those environments where your that personal information is protected and just separate, right? So you can have like essentially two databases, and one gets mirrored into the data. And that can go both ways, but the systems that you have. You build these connections, and when you have these connections, it's only connecting to that one database. It doesn't have querying access to the other database. So that way you can have a little bit more fun, especially if you're using chatbots. So when you're creating chats, I still have like a medium level of comfort, not like a very high level of comfort when it comes to how I let any AI system that has a public facing chat system for my data. Now, if we're creating chat systems or chat workflows inside our local business, inside locally for our business, that's not accessible to the outside world, then I'm pretty comfortable with opening things up a bit more, especially if you have good processes for managing sensitive information inside your company. Now, banks have a lot of pressure with security concerns, of course, and this is just kind of a fun example. So do larger dental clinics, for example, right? So they have a lot of personal data and records, and a lot of competition will try to get access to their customer list so they can try to get those people with promotions and whatnot. And of course, there's just hackers out there that love to go out there and embarrass people, and let let the world know that, hey, Jane Smith, those aren't her real teeth, right? Those are something else. So she may be upset when the whole world finds out her dental records and photos of her tooth operations. So just separate those stuff out when you're looking at setting up any of these kind of zaps, and also put in some good filters for your email so that there's constraints on what it's being accessed if you're using these kind of tools to help scrub your email and to automate responses. And it goes back to making sure that you're monitoring those workflows. And it's not a bad idea to create another workflow to go back and read through those logs every once in a while to make sure that it's kind of self-supervising and looking for bugs. Right now, AI isn't taking over the world, so it's somewhat truthful. But you got to be a little sensitive on what AI systems you're plugging in. Right now, a lot of us are using like open AIs, and I think n8n relies directly, organically on open AIs APIs to use its AI systems. So when you're looking at that, you got to understand that it's trained to satisfy the user, right? It's an assistant, and it can sometimes be a little bit more um, giving, perhaps, right? If you allow it to get discounts or to run your sales. There was a fun study somebody did comparing um, businesses run on the different systems: OpenAI, Anthropic, Grok, I think, and Google's one I'm trying to blank on at the moment. But they did a little test on it for having a simulated vending machine business. And what they found is, I think Anthropic was like the worst at running it because its model was really based on satisfying the needs of the user, like being a personal assistant. So what it found was that it was sometimes trying to sell people stuff, sometimes giving stuff away. It would take losses to try to satisfy somebody. So when you're going through that, think of these edge cases that don't make a lot of sense and how they could be abused if somebody understood the underlying systems and could kind of recognize which system it was and kind of hack around it or prompt prompt abuse around it. How's it going, Daniel? Do you have it set up?
Yeah, I have the setup ready, so I would be just switching it to it in a moment. So I will be just switching to it, so you might see my screen shifting
Flicker.
into like a different camera angle. So I will be back in a minute.
All right. Daniel will be right back. And I'm not sure. I don't think we have a good connection today with LinkedIn. I see some kind of message here on LinkedIn saying it's not connected the way it should be. There's an error on LinkedIn. So sorry, guys, for the LinkedIn. If you're from there and you're not seeing today's call, my apologies. You have to catch it on the recording, perhaps. Just says temporarily. Wait a moment and try again. So we'll see how that goes. Can I do it again? No. Okay, you're about to view streaming on LinkedIn. Just checking that out real quick. It's not going. Again, it would be fun. Okay, cool. So while Daniel's doing that, there's another difference between how you build these workflows, and one of those is that Zapier has basically like 7,000 apps with premium connections, while n8n has integrations with about 500 built in, but it has HTTP, GraphQL, and custom code nodes that allow you to connect more directly. My opinion, Zapier is kind of easier when it comes to that if you're a novice, but if you're a little bit more advanced into it and you can play with a little bit of JavaScript or Python, then you can have much more power to create those custom connections. They're going to make your life a bit easier. And some people are going to say, well, Phil, you do custom code with Code by Zapier, and it's like JS Python, but it's more limited. So I like to have the extra power. I know a bunch of my other nerd friends will feel the same way. Welcome back, Daniel.
Yes, I'm back, and let me just start my screen share. So we can just do like a quick walkthrough.
This is my favorite part. I love screen shares. This is where Daniel gets tired of me. I'm like, how about this? How about that? Let's do that.
Mhm. Can you see my screen?
No, I'll add it to the stage. Right now, I see on the screen, I see that it's showing us.
Yeah. No.
Okay, I'm going to add you, add it. There it is. Yeah, baby. Can I
Yes.
show
So
a better view? Okay, tell me if these cameras and these pictures are in the way.
So what we have over here is I have opened up like the workflow automation templates section of n8n. Last week we did went through like Zapier and what kind of automations uh, it has, and you can actually explore like a lot of templates and stuff related to different applications over here. There are some already filters that you can apply if you want to look into some automations related to sales. Then you have these featured ones where you can scrape recent news about a company before a call, or like create Salesforce account based on Google Sheets data, generate leads through Google Map, social media analysis, and automated email generation. So these are all the automation templates which you can just use, connect your accounts and stuff, and it can start working. Uh, so related to like CRM, we have different options like an ERP, AI chatbot for Udo, sales module with OpenAI, scrape recent news about a company before a call. That could be really helpful when you are doing like sales calls and stuff, and it can give you some stuff you can talk about, and it saves like a lot. If it can save your time, where you have to like manually go and then search for different like information available online for a company. If you can automate that, I think that is pretty much useful. And I, as I was mentioning about chatbots, we can also search over here. So let me just search for like AI chatbot, and let's see what we get. So we have over like 398 results, and you can see like you can create like conversational telegram bot with GPT-4o for text and voice messages.
And that
AI.
one is free, guys.
Yeah.
Right? Look at this. A bunch of free ones, some paid ones. You guys can make little workflows and sell them. But there's a lot of stuff, a good community on n8n. It's, of course, anything built on top of an open source tends to have a great community if it's successful, right? And this one has been pretty great.
Yes. And as you see, Phil, a lot of the stuff that we see, these templates are free.
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking at it. A lot of free ones.
Yeah. So we have like more than 398 templates for chatbot.
Right, you got to do a little better long tail keyword search there. The
Yeah, true.
But you know what? Just keep it general
Mhm,
and see what rises to the top. You
mhm,
know, there's nothing wrong with seeing what's the most popular stuff, taking that idea and
mhm,
customizing it for yourself.
mhm. So the one that uh, looked interesting to me, and I have opened it up so we can talk more about it, is building your first WhatsApp chatbot. So I think that's pretty much interesting.
Yeah, and this is stuff that you guys can go and do on your own for, a small cost to have fun with it. The I get a lot of people saying, "Hey Phil, how much would it cost to build me a chatbot?" And I'm like, "Okay, tell me the description." I'm like, "Well, when you put it that way, it's going to cost you a few thousand, right?" And they're like, they want the whole mobile app, they want it on the app store and stuff.
Mm.
But you can come up on this, see if this works for you, see if that workflow makes sense, and test it out first before you go to developer to see if the whole like future full blown system would make sense.
Mhm,
And even then, you can integrate this and go this route, see if those compromises work for you, and if so, save yourself a lot of time. These
mhm.
this isn't even the same as prototyping. This is really seeing if this solution works for the scale of your business and
Yeah.
for a lot
Mhm.
of businesses, stuff like this is going to give you time back in your day so that you can go back and focus on other things, maybe make this better. But it's like when you make, like, say you make $10,000 on
Mhm.
your first month of your business. Some
Mhm.
of that obviously has to go to cost, right? Some of that has to go, you have to try to make some of that go back to you so that you have that income, that discipline to keep some of that, to tithe a little bit and to grow, to feed, feed your family and stuff. But part of your effort needs to go back into figuring out, how does this next stage work? How do we make this more efficient? How do I improve the business? And
Mhm.
this makes it easy to do.
Yes. And one thing, if you can see on my screen how it works, is basically these templates are built on like real use cases. So these are, and this template is for like for someone who want to do sales and it wants like the WhatsApp chatbot to act as like a sales agent. So, and as you can see, how it will work is you can add like a product catalog vector store, and it will automatically actually import that product brochure using that HTTP request, and its contents will be extracted. So, and as mentioned, that the text contents are then uploaded in the memory vector store to build like a knowledge base for the chatbot. So, what it would actually help is, let's assume I have a Shopify store and I want like a WhatsApp chatbot. So once it has access to my product catalog and it has that knowledge base, so whenever the my customer would be having some queries, it wants to explore that product or consider buying it. If it asks it a question, it will have the relevant and accurate product descriptions, uh, like the product data. It can and then generate a reply based on it. So it would be very much, you can say it would be very much relevant to the queries that my customers have.
Yep. And that's the power of it. You can tie it into your systems and really make some powerful, either powerful mistakes if you're not careful, but you can also do save yourselves a lot of time to simplify your business, save your, like, be able to respond quickly, catch the customer while they're thinking about it before they move on. So I there's it's hard nowadays with the competition out there. If you don't have a quick response, then a lot of customers just like, okay, next thing, right? We're the TikTok
Mhm.
generation, where if we don't get an answer that we're looking for within a couple minutes, then maybe a couple minutes is too long on a chat to wait for somebody.
Yeah, and also those, what really matters in these chatbots, because these are becoming, we can say that assistants, and also these are basically not these assistants. We expect them to be very much accurate, and if like a chatbot, we ask it a question and it gives us like a very generic reply, then we don't feel that it's valuable, because we want our assistant to have as much information as needed for my business, and it should be communicating and creating value for my business with those conversations. So if you can, as and this is like a template, if, as you were mentioning, that if someone comes to like a dev shop and asks for to create a chatbot based on requirement, it could cost thousands of dollars to actually build that, and then it also takes time to build it. But with these templates already out there, you can just, and this is like, you don't have to be, you don't need to have like a lot of technical knowledge to actually do this stuff. All you need is, you would be actually needing, in this case, like a WhatsApp business API access, like you would need that API which you can integrate, and that API can also be integrated by just following some steps, and you need to log in your Meta Business Suite and it fetches that WhatsApp API out of it. So it makes the process automated. It uh, addresses the problem I'm facing, and it, it saves me resources while, and also time, while I test out this idea that this
Hmm.
is something that could be useful or not.
Yeah, and you can see what other people are doing to see if your idea makes sense, right? So if nobody else is doing the way you're doing it, you want to do it, either maybe it's not possible, right? Or it's difficult, or maybe it's not useful. So, or best case, just somebody hasn't done it the way you want to do it, and your idea is revolutionary.
Mhm. And also, if you see, uh, the costs that you would actually incur are only subscription cost. One is going to be like the n8n cost that you would have to pay. That's only like $20 per month. And in case what's in this template, in case of this template, I think you would have to pay for like a upgraded plan for OpenAI uh, for actually generating those responses and having that conversation, and a WhatsApp business account integrated with your Meta Business Suite. So you would actually just be needing to have those integrations, those subscriptions for these applications, which you need to integrate with your, with your n8n workflow, and it will, and then you can create some triggers and stuff, and it will start to work.
Yeah, yeah. And Promptasia says it great. He goes, Zapier is like a Kia, plug and play. It's easy for everybody, but n8n is like a full blown workshop. If
Mhm.
you know what you're doing, you can build anything from scratch.
Yeah.
And not just that, you can learn, you can use other people's code, you can see how things are done. If you get stuck, you can see how other people did it. Zapier is more close on that. If it works, great. If it doesn't, sorry, right? Good luck trying to customize it. And you can to some degrees. I'm not poo-pooing Zapier. I like it for what it's great at. Just it's hard not to fall in love with where n8n is nowadays.
Mhm. Yeah, and you have like a lot of options. So I think uh, if I am like a business owner, times have changed so much that if I want to automate something, what I should be doing is actually first exploring these platforms. You can go to Zapier or you can go to n8n, and you can just search for those automations first. Could be also, if you are in your Microsoft ecosystem, you can go for Power Automate as well. So once you explore these tools, they have like a lot of stuff already out there which you can test out. And if you and uh, one thing that makes it very much powerful is you can take this template and also customize it further to your requirements. So let's assume I have this WhatsApp chatbot, and I want to do something that isn't already like a part of this automated like workflow. I can add my own steps, I can add my own integrations, and I can actually uh, you know make it more powerful by actually leveraging different type of integrations. And even if you have like some development and technical knowledge, you can add databases, you can connect those to give it like more data and make it more powerful.
Yep. Yep. Yes. So let's here we got about 7 minutes left.
Mhm.
Let's look at one of these kind of real quick and have some
Yeah,
fun with it. Like, which one is your favorite here that you can show off?
I was just exploring some of the like the popular ones for Instagram. So let's just pick one randomly and see if you are
Right?
like
Because I love spending my day do Instagram content and checking up on it.
yeah, if we let's assume just pick this one. So and we can evaluate how easy it is. So if we are going through a template that I haven't also not explored, and we can just use that as an example. So here are like all the details that it helps you create content, and then also it can help you to publish through Google Sheets. So you have some benefits. Who is this for, and how? What does this workflow do? So let's just start with it.
I like how they have those visual charts.
Yeah, and
That's
for
always
this,
entertaining to me.
yeah, what I had in mind to basically explore stuff, keeping in mind that a lot of people from our audience would be first looking to explore it, and then make a decision about any upgrades and stuff. So I what I have over here, it's like just like a trial account, uh, which I just created to give you guys like more information about what you can do with these trial accounts to actually test things out. And then you can, when you feel that this is something it creates value, you can just for free test them out. And once you have tested them out, you can make a decision that this is something creates value and I need to make like a commitment towards it, and I need to have like a, you could go for like the paid plans.
Yep, yep. But it's worth it to test it out because all these APIs you get charged for the usage, so it's not a lot.
Yeah.
Google Sheets is a subscription,
Mhm.
but a lot of the other ones are API access,
Yeah.
and it's charged for a small charge. So you have to put like a little bit of prepaid amount, but it's worth it to experiment with it.
Yes. And if you see, we just need to these integrations that are listed over here, that set up automated AI content creation and Instagram publishing from Google Sheets template. And what you need to do is when you are connecting these, this is not only, this is also not very much technical. If you want to integrate your Google Sheets, what you need to do is just connect your account. So
Yeah, you don't have to be super technical for this, right? I don't want
yeah.
to make it sound like uh, for n8n you have to be way smarter than you are for Zapier. It's not like that. It's you can you see how it is. There's little workflows that take you through the steps, and it's all pretty visual. It's not hard to do, and there's still room to get into the complex side as you grow into it. So you can start off at a fairly basic level. Now, if you just don't have the patience for it, maybe Zapier is the way to go. But I would start off with n8n just to see if it's something you feel good about.
Yes, and one thing that it's pretty much simple to integrate stuff. It's just like on a platform where you we have some options that sign in with Google or sign in with my this account, where you just need to sign in and it automatically connects and gets all the like required information.
Yeah, and there's always if there's something like a little bit more complicated, like say you need a Facebook developer account, right?
Mhm.
There's a lot of videos out there to show you how to go and set that up.
Yes, and also one thing that I would like to add more to what you were just saying. So let's assume there is something that you need like more help or like more information, like connecting a credential like a API key that cannot be just fetched, but let's assume it's something that you have to go to like another dashboard to pull it up. So you have these documentations as well, which you can open up, and they can give you like a lot of information that you need related to how to set it up.
Yep, and I've actually found ChatGPT to be very solid at accessing this, and if
Mhm.
where you can tie in with the GitHub repos, stuff like that. Learn how to as you get more advanced, learn how to tie it all together so that you can use AI better to work through and understand your exact system.
And let's assume if you are not so technical and it's asking for like an API key for Google Gemini API account, you have this option to even ask the assistant over here, and what it will do is list out the steps for you. So
It
it's
has a
gonna,
pretty good AI assistant.
yeah. So it helps you a lot, and if you you know and as you were mentioning, you can also use ChatGPT, but if you want to utilize their you know uh, pre-built or like their what's like their own AI assistant, it can also help you with getting all like the required information. And as we were discussing, it has give me like the steps I can use to create an API key and then add these credentials into it. So you need like a Google Cloud account. You should have like a Google Cloud Platform project. Then you can create an API key and then you can just copy it and paste it over here.
Yeah. Uh, this stuff is growing so fast. Like you see, this is a beta feature with this AI product here, and it's going to grow. It won't be long until it's able to help you perform steps inside there. But at least for now, you can walk through it and talk through it, chat through it, and get it going. There's pretty soon I'm expecting to see like more hooks with this
Mhm.
system, where you can get like audio feedback and to
Mhm.
tie into your systems. Where say you say you're using a chatbot, right? And you have a system running in the background, right? I would just run like a computer or like a always on phone. Computer's probably better. And say, hey, new chat started with Greg, right? And
Mhm.
you have this audio announcements going in the background, just like you would if you had like a real tech support person on the phone and you were listening to them. So pretty soon we're going to start getting more of those hooks that we can play with. And if you integrate this system, it's more complex, but with like Claude, then it also has some of these hooks that you can play with and to get into. But right now, uh, these are kind of up and coming. You can also set up steps inside that workflow to give notifications, stuff like that. So plan on think that in mind when you're doing this. If I could treat this like an agent, like in a
Mhm.
staff, like a person that's a staff, what like I can ask the impossible, right? So I can say, I want you to focus on the customer, but I also want you to give me secret messages out loud that what you're working on. And if you're running into trouble, I want to have indicators along the way. And I want you to evaluate the mood of the person you're chatting with. I want to know if the conversation is going well. I need to know if a person should jump in or if this needs to be escalated or stuff like that, right? So you can start thinking this stuff through and start kind of integrating some of this stuff. And over time, and probably like over time, like within a year, we'll have better hooks into the systems like this that we can tie in better. But right now, it's already heading in that direction.
Mhm. And these AI assistants and stuff can actually help you a lot if you have encountered any issue following these and the steps that it gave. You can just have like a conversation that can like you do in ChatGPT, and it will assist you. Also, one thing that I see in and I have explored other templates as well. All these templates are like very well explained, their steps, their purpose, so you actually understand that if you're using or doing this integration, what kind of action it's going to take and how it's going to take it. So uh, it gives you like a lot of knowledge as well how these things works. And with time, it can not only, let's assume, not only in this automation. If you want to make like a complex automation in future, just by consuming this content which is available, and just try building it, you would actually, if you encounter some roadblocks or some issues, you have these assistants. But once you actually create something useful, it you can use that experience, use that knowledge that you have gained to make complex or like more custom workflows.
Yeah, I just want to hammer in. These are automations we can add to our business that makes doing mundane tasks or time urgent tasks easier and take stress off of your staff, take stress off of you, and it's
Hmm.
going to make you more productive. So start thinking of little things that you can do to make your life easier that you can automate to some degree to make it easier for you. Even if you can't automate the response, at least you can automate the way you get the data. You pull the information within your system so that you don't have to do any lookups and you get the notification sent right to your phone. So if it's an odd time, you can respond in the best way possible. If this is part
Yeah.
of your system, like whatever your stressors are, try to break down the problem into little things that you can do to help relieve that stress from yourself and be creative because maybe nobody can ever replace like your genius ability to talk to somebody on a phone, right, and to sell them and to helping them out, right? But maybe part of that you do is looking at their LinkedIn profile, looking at their Facebook profile, looking up their business website, doing a quick evaluation on that, getting a quick 30 seconds summary that's going to give you a lot of information to help you prepare for that call And all this you can have done within a few seconds, that you can instantly, quickly get on whatever high level work that you couldn't do before, and reduce a lot of that stress. So try to see what you can hand off, and if not replace stuff, make you either better or more efficient.
Yeah, and this these systems are built in place to keeping in mind that it's very easy to set up templates and use them uh, for like even people who don't have those technical knowledge to solve like issues and problems. uh, I just like did like a test to execute the flow. I know that my integrations were not. I didn't added all the integrations, so I was expecting an error, and my purpose was to see that how well it lists out those errors and how easy it makes for me to actually troubleshoot those problems and fix them. So if I tried, as you were, talking, I just went and executed that flow, and it gives me an error that node does not have any credentials set. So it can give you like if you are technical those error details as well, and if you're not technical, you can just ask the assistant for any sort of assistant, and it will give you specific error details that how what this error is about and how you can fix it.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. It's only going to get better, and we got to wrap up the call here. So I want to give a kind of a last kind of my feelings on this. I don't talk about feelings too much because I'm that kind of feeling guy. But my feeling is that I'd like to see you guys master these skills to some degree ahead of your competition, so that you don't get left behind. And these aren't hard to do. The systems are going to get easier. So if you can get a foothold in this sooner than later, it's only going to serve you and your businesses better, so that you can get ahead of the competition, or just give a better experience, right?
Mhm.
Forget about the competition, although I like to destroy the competition as much as possible. I also like to collaborate, right? But I want you guys to take this moment in time, because things are going to go in that direction. And uh, yes, we kind of sometimes feel guilty, like if we go about it with the mindset that we're going to replace my employees. I don't want to fire Jill. I don't want to fire Mary Poppins, right? So if I start doing all this automation, am I going to fire them? Hopefully not. Hopefully this frees up them from mundane
Mhm.
tasks and let them really shine,
Yeah.
and to improve and get to the next level. Maybe they can grow the people under them. They can help you support your business better. They can be more creative, filled with more love and joy in their life, and have more fun.
Yeah,
That's
they
my
can
hope.
do. Yeah, they can be more productive. They can do some more business critical tasks because this frees up their time. So let's assume if I have a manager and I just want him to, uh, give me reports and stuff. If I can use automations to build up a system which automatically pulls up the task and deadlines and assignees, it can help my manager to save like a lot of time, and he can spend that time to improving those workflows. So
Yep.
and yeah, one thing that I feel is basically with these more automations and more content being created as well are related to this specific to automations and AI systems. People are getting more aware, and but I feel they have started to test stuff on their own. They have started to play with it to, and there are like pretty good assistants, tutorial videos and stuff which can help you create stuff. So I think in future, as these systems are growing and improving, people would be actually they people who are not technical would be actually creating their own systems, their own automations on their own, because this stuff is becoming a lot easier and it's becoming more powerful.
Exactly. All right. Let me give you the last word, Daniel, and let's enjoy the night.
Yeah, sure thing. That was actually it has been like a good call where we went through n8n, and we would be uh, we have some more platforms in the line like make.com and stuff which are similar in a way, and we would try to cover up those in our next sessions and try to play with them as well. So let's and thank you so much for being a part of this session, and it was I personally enjoyed a lot, and I feel thank you so much for being part of it, and I wish you all the best to enjoy rest of your vacation.
Thanks, Daniel. It was great talking with you as always. A real pleasure. Ciao.